Hello, amazing artists. Today you are watching part 2 of the video on how to make a winter penguin. In part 1, I taught you how to draw the penguin, and the Google Slides presentation told you that the next steps were to outline the penguin and everything we drew in pencil with Sharpie, and then to color the background or the sky with crayons or colored pencils, whatever you have at home. So you should have something that looks sort of like this now that my background's colored in and I've got everything outlined with Sharpie. What you're gonna need for the second part is your markers, and you're gonna also need a cup of water and a paintbrush. If you don't have any of these items, please let Mrs. Cornett know as soon as possible so she can set some in the bin at the high school for you. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna actually use markers as a watercolor technique. So I'm gonna be choosing a color, and instead of actually coloring it in, let's say I want my hat to be purple, all that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna color around the outline or right along the edge of my Sharpie with that marker. So I'm basically outlining it again, but this time I am using my marker to go right up next to the Sharpie. And since I made my hat purple, I might as well make my scarf to match. So I'm gonna use this, and I like to make my lines pretty thick. And I'm just gonna outline that scarf. I'm gonna outline the This is where you really get to have some fun. Now I'm gonna start with the hat first. So I'm gonna get my brush wet, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spin my brush around and really pull at that color to try to pull it in towards the center. And the more that you do this, the more that you're gonna spread that paint out. And since I'm in the purple, I might as well go ahead and outline the rest of my scarf. I'm just gonna go over those lines that I did and kind of around the green. And you can see that it's turning it into paint. And go just around the edges, and we'll pull some of that color in between here for my hat. Rinse your brush out just like you would with regular paint, and then start activating those feet. And don't forget the water. I should be able to spread this out so this can actually fill this whole space in to make it look like my iceberg is floating, because our iceberg is going to be white, but I can use some of this color to kind of help make it look like it's really chilly. And then I'm gonna fill in the rest of the water here. And last but not least, I'm gonna go over the penguin, really try to activate that gray color and fill that in. So when you're all finished, I'm trying to go kind of fast for the video. Please remember that you can pause the video at any time. What you should have when you're finished is a combination. We used kind of a mixed media because we used crayons, Sharpie, markers, and then we improvised and kind of turned our markers into paint, which is pretty neat because it gives it a whole different effect. Here's one that is finished and dry, so you can kind of see an example of what it should look like. Don't forget to submit your work on Google Classroom. You can take a picture of your work and submit it that way. We love to see your face holding your art, seeing how proud you are. So have fun and be creative, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. Happy art making.